Welcome to DHN. Let's talk crypto. So we're still above 18K for Bitcoin. This is good news. A lot of volume is coming into the market right now. This may feel like a bit of a breather compared to the last 8 to 10 months, but I still wouldn't start calling out any bulls yet, guys. Now, this whole video is focused on Stellar Lumens. Here's why. Tascam Bank has published a report on the results of their electronic money project that is built on XLM. The detailed report outlines the advantages of issuing and distributing money on the blockchain. We have watched this unfold over the last year and some change, folks. Going all the way back to December 14th, 2021, Ledger Insights, Bit, Stellar, working with Tascam for tokenized money. That day, plans were announced that government employees would receive their salaries through this system. The National Bank of Ukraine would supervise the project, and the currency would be issued on Stellar and make use of Bit's digital currency management system. Bit is that same company who founded Fluid Finance, and its co-founder co-invented CBDC's Mr. Oliver Gale. Now, we all know what comes after that, and it appeared that everyone forgot this happened or assumed that it wouldn't happen. But in March, Ms. Dixon comes out and states that, oh no, it's happening. As a matter of fact, we're ramping up progress because of it. What is most interesting about this interview is the fact that she states what the president also wants to do. Ukraine will be a digital economy by 2030. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's the agenda, to bring in a digital dollar. That was March. Things go quiet again, markets begin to pull back, and we had like 40 different crypto companies fall in less than 6 months. So again, no one was paying attention. Then in December, as we are coming from up out the chaos, we get this news. Stellar partnering with the United Nations for humanitarian aid programs using USDC. Keep in mind, since this conflict broke out, there has been nearly $100 million in crypto sent over there. Still need to find out who's selling or holding that money. Here's my thinking. El Salvador buying up all that Bitcoin will make them one of the wealthiest nations on the planet if Bitcoin gets anywhere near $100,000. Conversely, it also serves as a wait until that day comes. But the same principle can be applied here. If any amount of that crypto is being held, once this market goes bull, somebody's getting paid. This brings us back to today. What this report basically says is that the facilitation and issuance of a digital currency can take place on the blockchain, and it can be used on a large scale with little to no impact on existing infrastructure. The experiment saw the Stellar blockchain running parallel to their current ABS banking system. They were able to get more money through Stellar much quicker and maintain the privacy of all parties. They ran a side-by-side comparison of traditional banking and blockchain banking, and the blockchain won by a mile. This, remember, goes all the way back to January initially, when the deal was struck between the Stellar Development Foundation and the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Tascam Bank is one of the oldest banks in the region, so you know they have government influence. Now, a couple more things I want to point out here. As good as all of this sounds, there is still one more piece that must be put in place. Currently, electronic money is illegal there for commercial purposes. Given that their government is probably a bit busy at the moment, this could take a bit of time to hit the table. It could. But then the thing is, Zelensky still wants to create a digital Ukraine. This is why the ministry was formed under his administration. His term started in May of 2019. The ministry was formed in August. I was shocked too when I found that out. Lastly, coming from Ms. Dixon herself, after the successful deployment of Stellar Aid's Assist program in Ukraine, their next stop is the annual World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, in an attempt to bring this tool to a global stage.
At this crucial inflection point, as you can imagine, where we're still reeling from some of the challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic, some of the attendant consequences related to what we're dealing with the crisis in Ukraine, the World Economic Forum will once again convene the foremost leaders in the world in both the public and the private sector to address some of the immediate challenges to your question that we're seeing right now, challenges around the energy crisis as well as the food crisis, challenges related to the economic condition we find ourselves in, horizon, one of low growth, high inflation. But as usual, we'll be addressing some of the broader systemic challenges. So challenges related to the fourth industrial revolution, the energy transition, as well as climate change.
A record number of government and business leaders will descend on the picturesque Swiss ski resort of Davos this month and discuss global challenges as the World Economic Forum's annual winter event returns. Criticized by some as a social club for the jet set that merely adds carbon footprint, the forum boasts it can bring together decision makers at a time of growing geopolitical mistrust. Its founder, Klaus Schwab, said, "We're all stuck in a crisis mindset."
And that leads to short-term decision-making that may have long-term unintended damaging consequences. Davos should help to shift that mindset.
The last in-person Davos winter gathering was in 2020, just days before the COVID-19 outbreak was declared a global health emergency. While the Russian delegation will be conspicuously absent, the forum's president, Borge Brande, expects 52 heads of state and government to show up next to 35 foreign ministers.
We expect a high-level Chinese delegation and participation. We have the new presidents from Korea, the Philippines, and also high-level delegations from other Asian countries.
Them at the same time in one place. This can only mean one thing. The World Economic Forum annual meeting, or just Davos as we know it, is back. This year will bring about the highest ever business participation in Davos, with over 1,500 leaders registered across 700 organizations, says the WEF team. They will all be back in the Swiss ski resort of Davos after 2 years of cancellations due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and then the exceptional spring meeting in May. Now, what's the point of the whole Davos gathering? The meeting has always been facing criticism as a gathering of elites. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon said the best description he had heard of the meeting was, quote, "is where billionaires tell millionaires what the middle class feels." But Davos does have a solid record. For example, in 2000, the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization was launched here and has since been improving access to new and unused vaccines for millions of the most vulnerable around the world. Now, what's on the Davos agenda this year? Now, the 2023 theme is cooperation in a fragmented world. Davos participants will analyze how the twin triggers of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine rattled an already brittle global system. A few days before the annual meeting starts, WEF released its Global Risks Report 2023. Cost of living crisis is ranked as the most severe global risk over the next 2 years, peaking in the short term. And while the cost of living crisis is the biggest short-term risk, failure of climate mitigation and climate adaptation are largest long-term concerns, according to the latest report.
Yo, thanks for watching DHN Crypto. If you found value in this content, hit that like button and share this information with a friend. DHN official merchandise is now available. The DHN Crypto Journal and SafePal links are in the description. Have a great day, have a prosperous day, and most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next video.